Welcome back to Denoise Your Life. In the last episode, I spoke about decision noise, the voices that make choices heavier. Today, I want to talk about another kind of noise, comparison. Comparison is one of the loudest forms of noise in my own life. I have struggled with it for a long time. And to be honest, I still do. I have never had much natural confidence, probably less than people expect. Sometimes even my friends are surprised by how easily I doubt myself. And comparison feeds that doubt. When I see other people's success, I don't just admire it, I measure myself against it. And very often, I come out smaller. Sometimes the comparison is immediate. I read about someone's achievement, or see an exhibition, or hear about a successful project. And within a few seconds, my attention shifts away from what I was doing to where I seem to stand. It happens almost automatically before I even notice it. What makes comparison difficult is that it is not irrational. When someone succeeds, there is usually effort behind it. Talent, persistence, sacrifice. I understand that. And I often think if I spent less time comparing and more time working, I would move forward faster. That thought is reasonable. But reasonable thoughts do not always reduce noise. Sometimes they only add another voice. Now I am not only comparing, I am also judging myself for comparing. And the noise becomes thicker. Sometimes comparison becomes so strong that I try to step away from it. There have been times when I stopped following people on social media. Not because I dislike them, but because I didn't want to know how well they were doing. That is not a comfortable thing to admit. But comparison is rarely comfortable. It mixes admiration and envy in ways that are hard to separate. Sometimes the admiration is genuine. Sometimes the envy is stronger. And sometimes I cannot tell the difference. I also know that I am fortunate. I live in safety. I eat every day. Even an ordinary day is something close to a miracle. I know this and I believe it. But knowing it does not silence comparison. Understanding is not the same as freedom. Some days, gratitude feels natural. Other days, comparison is louder. And there is no simple way to choose between them. Comparison is not always wrong. We learn through comparison. We improve through comparison. Without comparison, we might not grow at all. But comparison becomes noise when it replaces attention. Instead of asking, "What am I doing?" we start asking, "Where do I stand?" And that question has no stable answer. There will always be someone ahead, someone more successful, someone more visible, someone more certain. Comparison has no natural end. There is always another person to measure yourself against. Denoising comparison doesn't mean pretending not to see others. It doesn't mean becoming free from envy. At least for me, that has never worked. Denoising comparison means returning attention to the work in front of me. Sometimes that means doing something very simple, continuing a piece of writing, or finishing a work, or preparing the next step. Small movements are often enough to bring attention back. Not perfectly, not permanently, just repeatedly. Comparison asks, where do I stand? But a denoised life asks, what am I doing today? The first question never ends. The second one can be answered. Thank you for listening to Denoise Your Life. In the next episode, I want to talk about another kind of noise, the noise of expectations. Until then, notice when comparison pulls your attention away from what you are actually doing. Sometimes the noise is not outside, but in the distance between your work and someone else's result.